What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, say hello in the comments. Let me know how long you've been day trading. My name's Amy Nicholas and I'm in month 4 of learning how to day trade. It's been an interesting journey. Feel free to check out the other videos on the channel. And recently I compiled a list of all the resources I felt like really helped me to put together my strategy, my risk management, just get going, learn how to day trade. You can grab that for free. There's a link down below in the description box or in the comment section, and you just put in your email, type 0, and you can get access to the working document where I'm continuously adding as I go along. So Tuesday, March 11th, recap, day trading results. I've in the past, and I don't know that this is necessarily right or wrong, but I tend to say, I had a red day or I had a green day. And as I study more and more about the psychology behind trading and like why we do the things we do that mess us up in trading, I'm almost to the point where I'm like, I don't even want to call it that. But if you just are like, Amy, did you make money today? No, I did not. I think my P&L said loss of like $4. It was very minimal. But what ended up happening today, I wasn't able to trade right at the open like I normally do, which actually worked out good because by the time I got to my desk, booted everything up, it was probably like half an hour after the open, which was good because, the videos I've talked about the last few days with my trading results, that used to be a good time, and now it's been very, very choppy, and I was just repeatedly kind of getting kicked out, with my stop loss and everything. And so it was probably a good thing that I came a little later to the table today. What I ended up doing was the first trade I took, I said, you know what? I just want to take 10 shares. I don't want to take a full-size position. I'm just not ready to jump all in right now. So I went with 10 shares, shorting Tesla with the ETF TSLQ, and it immediately kicked me out. I think my stop loss, I want to say, was like 45 cents. It was pretty, to me, I thought fairly wide. And I ended up with a loss of $4.19 on 10 shares. So I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it was like 42 cents, something like that. And after that, I kind of was like, okay, maybe today's just going to be a practice day because I wanted to just just execute without thinking. I wanted to just take trades without overanalyzing and feeling this like thing in the back of my head constantly of like, well, what if this doesn't work out? Or is this the right time to get in? You've messed up on all these other trades. It's like that inner voice can really mess you up because it's constantly reminding you of like your past results, and I'm in the back of my mind was yesterday and not feeling like yesterday went super great. I mean, again, it's all down to how we think about it, and nothing really severe happened. It wasn't anything bad. I think my mind just would have been happier starting today if yesterday I had been in a profit or something. I don't know. It's just weird. Anyways, I took that small trade, and then I decided that every trade after that, I was going back to practice mode. So for me, instead of doing a paper account or a demo account, I just trade with 1 share because it still feels just as real because it's real money. Even though I'm only buying 1 share and putting a stop and everything, it's more realistic, and I don't want to get into a habit of not feeling like it's real. That's just me. So anyways, I ended up taking 9 practice trades, and I allowed myself to just keep trying because I knew I was only going to be risking up to, I think, my largest stop, because that was one of the things too I mentioned yesterday in my video about Monday's results, was I wanted to take time to practice different stop losses. Because I thought, well, maybe I'm being too rigid. I'm in this small zone of like 30 to 40 cents. And maybe I have to be wider right now because the market is volatile. And it's very much, you could get in and just get kicked out. And then it immediately goes in your favor after you've been booted out. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. So I was kind of all over the place with my stops. And I think the biggest one I went with was like 55 cents. I wasn't too good about writing the stops out, but I did track whether I was green or red on every trade and what my profit or loss was. So the next couple practice trades, 2, 3, 4, were red, but very small because I was using a trailing stop too. So it wasn't always at the max of my stop loss that I was getting kicked out. And then I goofed again on one of them, forgot to put the take profit, whatever. It executed with like a 2-cent thing. And then the next one, the one that was green, the first one was green, was number 5. And it was a really good spread, like in between when I got in and when I got out. I think what had happened was this was just a few minutes after the jobs report had been announced this morning, which is another reason I'm glad I didn't trade at the open, because then the markets got actually better conditions to trade in, more momentum after that was announced. And this is when Tesla just started like dive bombing. So I got in with TSOQ at 68.74 and I got out at 69.89. So more than a freaking dollar movement. Now granted, I only did the one share. So wasn't anything crazy there. In 68.74. Yeah, I think that's right. Maybe the trailing stop lessened the profit there. It's like 15 cents, but whatever. And then the next one was red. That one, that one was weird because I could have sworn when I looked at Tesla on my chart over here with my vertical monitor, I saw it still going down and ranging very, very small, very, very small, when I took trade number 6. And I still got stopped out, and I was at a loss of 56 cents. I want to say this was one that I actually had a 50-cent trailing stop, but whatever. And because as I look back at the screen, I'm like, okay, I must have just missed it with my stop, because the very next trade I took, it was very close to where I had got in on the first one. So number 6 TSOQ I got in at 71.21, and number 7 I got in at 71.05. So it was like, oh, it just moved just a little bit outside of like wherever, it apparently I got kicked out at 70.65, and then it jumped right back up 71.05. So I go again. Trade number 7, I was profitable, 71.05, out at 71.38, profit 33 cents. Woo. Trade number 8. So here was kind of cool. It was like 2 green back to back. Trade number 8 was also green. Again, shorting Tesla. These are all shorting Tesla. I only went long one time. But number 8 in at 72.40 because it just kept plummeting. And I'm like, okay, we're past yesterday's close, and then it was still going down. So I was like, okay, this is a good sign. It's going to keep going down. I knew there was a support line around 215 on Tesla, and I kind of thought, I don't think it's even gonna go much below or barely below 220. And I think at this time it hit a low of the day of like 218 if I'm not mistaken. So again, trade number 8, I was in 72.40 with TSLQ, out at 72.88 for a profit of 48 cents. Now I will say with these green ones, the risk to reward, I clearly was not really adhering to any kind of like, I was just trying to capture something, get the movement, get in, get out, definitely using the larger stop loss. I was probably operating at a 1-to-1 is basically where I was. But that was kind of just like, let me get out of the think stage and let me just do, right? I didn't want to like get stuck worrying too much about, is there enough risk and reward here or enough reward to the risk? So I just wanted to execute. This is the goal of my practice session. And then trade number 9 was the one time I went long, and TSLL. I decided to try that one instead of TSLR today. And she's drinking. It's so cheap. It's $7. I got in at $7.54, this ETF. But I wanted to compare the execution with TSLL compared to TSLR, which was having issues yesterday. And it seemed smidge faster, kind of, but this one, of course, takes a lot of movement on Tesla in order to make much in ways of, scalping or anything. And it wasn't really going much above the 754 that I got in at. I think the highest I saw it was like 759. And I was taking a while, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna clear the table on this one. I got out at 756 for a profit of 2 cents. Woohoo! And then the last one, I thought that perhaps Tesla was hitting the VWAP, and I was like, you know, rejection, maybe they'll come back down to that low point again. And so I went short again, and this one, it didn't go in my favor. It was a red one, but trailing stop kept me from losing the full loss, I guess. I'm pretty sure I was at 50 cents on this, because I got in at 69.53 and I got out at 69.28, so it was like a 25-cent loss roughly. TSOQ. So today was interesting because it allowed me to separate my emotions of the money from just showing up to practice and execute. Like having the discipline to just be like, I'm here to learn the process. I'm not here to worry about how much money I made or how much money I didn't make. So it was very helpful to take today and just do. If you have a day where you're just like, I'm not feeling on it. I'm not feeling on my game. I'm feeling a little bit off. I encourage you, do a practice day, you know, whether for you that's paper trading or you do like me and you buy one share. Whichever way, just go with your gut. Because I'm really glad I did this. Not only did it build a little confidence in me that, okay, I took 10 trades and I was, you know, at least on the side of green 4 of those 10 trades. So 40%, right? And it just gave me a little bit of encouragement that, okay, I don't completely suck. I know I suck, but I don't completely suck. You know, had I gone 10 for 10 and they'd all been in the red, then I would have been like, okay, Amy, you need to really readdress what you're doing here. So I wrote on my notes, you know, I felt good about taking the small position size. It took the stress away, and it kind of allowed me to just sort of hit the reset button on my emotions and thoughts. And playing with the larger stops. Oh, here's where I wrote it. Okay, so I played with larger stops, obviously, which seemed to help. And I ranged from 42 cents to 50 cents on my stop losses. And I will say, too, though, I think on the TSLL trade, I was like 20 cents because that's such an inexpensive stock. I knew it wasn't going to move too far. And then I just sort of took time to write out, you know, some potential scenarios. Like, okay, what if I did a 50 cent, 55 cent, 60 cent, whatever. And I was just sort of taking some notes after that. But later today, I was listening to a guy that I'm going to talk about in my next video. It's a really powerful YouTube video. It's going to open doors for me, I believe, in just executing this experiment. So stay tuned. Look for the next video. It's called the 20 Trades Experiment. I'll explain everything in that video. But that was something I listened to on my way and at the gym, and I was like, this is the next thing I need to work on for sure. So check out the resources below. I'll also link that video in the resources guide. So once you download it and you get access for free to the document, I put the link to this specific YouTube video and where I got the idea to do this 20 trades experiment. But you'll see that, you know, once you download. So look in the comments, look in the description down below if you want to get access to all my day trading resources. And you know, if you want to hang around for a while, feel free to subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.